Hope y'all are having a great day. Check it out. On this channel, in case you don't know, for the first time viewers, you might see all this purple, right? Like, what is the purple? That's when red and blue come together. So we might disagree politically on things, which is cool. That's whatever, but we're still Americans. So united. Red and blue come together. That's purple. That's the theme. That's why I did it. So today, man, I wanted to bring something to you guys. I don't know how many of you all know this, but there's an open slave trade, literally an open slave market in Libya, which I find to be crazy because Muammar Gaddafi, before he, was murdered, was against slavery. Like, it was outlawed, literally punishable by death when he was the leader of Libya. And now today we see this crazy kind of stuff, man, going on in Libya. Is crazy. I'm going to share something with you right now, and then I'm going to share a couple more clips, but we're going to talk about it. And it's disgusting, man. It really is. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this little clip for you guys, this little video. If you could do me the favor of liking this video right now, sharing this video out, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Check it out.
A man addressing an unseen crowd. Big strong boys for farm work, he says. 400. 700. 700. 800. The numbers roll in. These men are sold for 1,200 Libyan pounds, $400 a piece. You are watching an auction of human beings. Another man, claiming to be a buyer. Off camera, someone asks, what happened to the ones from Niger? Sold off, he's told. CNN was sent this footage by a contact. After months of working, we were able to verify the authenticity of what you see here. We decided to travel to Libya to try and see for ourselves. We're now in Tripoli, and we're starting to get a little bit more of a sense of how this all works. Our contacts are telling us that there are 1 to 2 of these auctions every month, and that there is one happening in the next few hours. So we're going to head out of town and see if we can get some sort of access to it. For the safety of our contacts, we have agreed not to divulge the location of this auction, but the town we're driving to isn't the only one. Night falls. We travel through nondescript suburban neighborhoods, pretending to look for a missing person. Eventually, we stop outside a house like any other. Adjust our secret cameras and wait. Finally, it's time to move. We're ushered into one of 2 auctions happening on this same night. Crouched at the back of the yard, a floodlight obscuring much of the scene. One by one, men are brought out as the bidding begins. 400. 500. 550. 600. 650. 700. Very quickly, it's over. We ask if we can speak to the men. The auctioneer, seen here, refuses. We ask again if we can speak to them, if we can help them. No, he says. The auction's over, we're told. And we're asked to leave. That was over very quickly. We walked in, and as soon as we walked in, the men started covering their faces, but they clearly wanted to finish what they were doing, and they kept bringing out what they kept referring to in Arabic as al-budaa, the merchandise. All in all, they admitted to us that there were 12 Nigerians that were sold in front of us. And I honestly don't know what to say. That was probably one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen.
If they don't want to take us to Italy, let us take us to our various countries.
These men are migrants with dreams of being smuggled to Europe by sea.
Excuse me, can I speak to you?
We are going inside. Have a seat in your place. Have a seat in your place.
They come in their thousands from Niger, Mali, Nigeria, Ghana. It's hard to believe that these are the lucky ones, rescued from warehouses like the one in which we witnessed the auction. They're sold if those warehouses become overcrowded or if they run out of money to pay their smugglers. Of these rescued men, so many here say they were held against their will. It doesn't take us long to find victory.
Just take us home. No food, no water. Just take us home. Want to go? No food, no water, nothing.
Victory was a slave.
We know that some people are being sold.
Yes.
Some people are being sold. Is this something you've heard about? Can you tell us about
Sure.
that? Tell us.
I was sold.
What happened?
On my way coming, I was sold. Merciless beating. If you look at most of the people here, if you check their body, you see the mark, they're beating. With electric, even your boot or they took something like a sharp object. Understand? Most of them lost their life there. I was there, the person who came to buy me give the man money. They take me out home. So the money was not even much.
Other migrants now start to come forward with their stories.
They took people to work by force. Even when we are at the seaside, when we are working the work, they will be beating you when you are working the work. I'm doing your work. They will be maltreating us. Higher.
But I promise you, I will take care of your husband and the others.
Anas al-Azabi is the supervisor here. With no international support, it's his job to look after the captured migrants until they can be deported. He says every day brings fresh heartbreak.
I'm suffering for them. I am suffering for them. What I have seen here daily, believe me, make me really feel pain for them. They come and every story is a special case. Few they was abusing them. Few they stole them money.
Have you heard about people being auctioned off, about migrants being sold?
Honestly, we hear the rumors, but there is nothing is obvious in front of us. We don't have evidence.
But we now do. CNN has delivered this evidence to the Libyan authorities, who have promised to launch an investigation so that scenes like this are returned to the past. Naam al-Bagher, CNN.
That is just it's insane. That is insane. They are literally selling people in an open slave market in Libya. And it upsets me. And the reason why it upsets me is, if you all remember, right, Gaddafi. Now, people got their opinions about Gaddafi. I understand. But Gaddafi was all about Libya and the whole continent of Africa. Okay. And I gotta bring it to this. I hate to bring it to politics, but when you look at the Democratic Party and how they ran in, Gaddafi loved Obama like a son. His own words. He said, "I love Obama like a son." And it was Obama that took him out. And then it was also released in Hillary Clinton's emails, that the reason why they took Gaddafi out was because he was about to centralize a bank in Africa. He was literally going to create the United States of Africa, which it makes a lot of sense of why they took him out. Because remember, he complied. He gave up his chemical weapons, all of that, and they still took him out. They took him out and left that place in ruins. To now there's what he would have annihilated you for. Gaddafi was against slavery all the way, and specifically by death. If you got caught partaking in the slave trade, you were punished by death. And now that he's gone, it's ironic that there's an open slave market and his country is in ruins. All right. And then this is even more disturbing. I don't know if you guys have well, first let me play this for you. All right, I want you guys to hear this because he breaks it down even better. This was already known by me back when I was watching the movie Hidden Colors. But I want you guys to listen to this.
Libya was accumulating gold in order to support the issuing and circulation of the African golden dinar. Now, this caused concern not just for France, but also for Britain and the States. When Gaddafi said to the French, this is none of your business, this is our continent, it's our oil, our banks, our currency, we seek independence. This was the last straw, if you like, for the French. They robbed Africa dry. The French economy is built on robbing Africa. And what Gaddafi was doing was very harmful to the imperialist interests of France. This was later admitted to by important figures like Hillary Clinton in her leaked emails, in which she actually says that the main reason for us attacking Libya is Gaddafi's attempt to issue the golden dinar.
That right there. If you all, this is my thing. People don't believe in a deep state, right? That kind of stuff right there. The deep state is it's a global level. That's why I tell you guys, all these wars and all of this stuff that's manufactured, you better believe that they know that the wars, yeah, they're hurting people. People are dying, and that's all true. But all of these people in power, they're all in it together. And it's to control the people. It is to control the people. They do not care about anything other than their control, their money, their power. This is how you have an open market for slavery in Libya. This is how you have Israelis and Palestinians dying. This is how you have Russia and Ukraine. And by the way, with Russia, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, man. Putin better be careful, because Putin is operating the same way that all these other people that end up getting taken out. He's operating the same way because he wants what's best for his people in Russia. He refuses to go by a centralized bank, all of these things. And when you look at Iran, right? I'm no fan of Iran, but they're another one. They refuse to get involved with a centralized bank. They refuse to play the game of the elites. That's what's really going on. All of these people who are called our enemies, all of these people that we're told we can't like them and they're the enemy of the United States of America. Let me tell you guys something, man. The enemy of the United States of America lives right here in the United States of America. And that's just it. This is why I'm so adamant about trying to unite the people, to get the people to come together, the American people, period, across the world. I'm calling, man, for unity across the board for everybody, because it's always the elites that end up on top and the people end up suffering. The people end up hurting. Wars don't affect the elites. It helps them get rich. Why do you think it happens when you have the same people that own that own trade or the docks, right? The transporting systems, they own it. Weapons manufacturing, they own it. All the food industry, they own it. So then how do you keep multi-billion dollar business like weapons manufacturing? How do you keep that in existence if you don't have wars? They plan these wars. They go into other countries and they help destabilize to cause a conflict. They cause conflicts amongst other nations on purpose so they can sell weapons. It's big money. Transportation of food, all of that. Everything. They create a crisis all the time so that they can make money. That's really what it comes down to. All of the stuff that we see in this world, man, it's manufactured. It is manufactured. They knock over one domino and then they watch the rest fall, because not everybody's in that inner circle. They got their own little group of people. And then on the outside, you got people that think that they are the people on the outside of that circle. They think, oh, we're the ones in charge, when really they're answering to a whole nother inner circle. And then they do it gradually. They keep going. So then that's why you got a lot of people in this country right now, you know, they think that they're the man. The person owns a business. Oh, he's the man. He's a millionaire. He's the man. But he answers to somebody, knowingly or unknowingly. And then the person that he answers to is answering to somebody. And it just keeps on going. So they knock over the one domino and then watch all the rest of them fall. It's all an illusion. It's a mind game, man, that they're playing with these with the people of the world. With the people of the world. I love that I live here in America, right? I love our country. It's a beautiful place. I love the people within our country. I despise these people that keep us at odds with each other. I despise media. I despise Republicans and Democrats that push for the divide. I despise religious leaders that push for the religious divide. I despise all of them because they're not about you. If they were about you, they would do what's good. I don't like big pharma. You know what I'm saying? Think about all of that. If they really wanted to save the world, they really wanted to save people and stop illnesses, right? Why they charge you so much for medicine? It's just all these questions, all these things. And then you take it back and then you look over there. If they really wanted to help the Libyan people, that was what they wanted, right? They wanted to help Libya because they had a dictator and he was bad. Muammar Gaddafi was bad. They take that man out and now their country is in ruins and there's an open slave market in the streets. It's not hard to see what's really going on here. Anybody that's promoting peace, anybody that is promoting unity, anybody that is promoting getting out from underneath the boot of these elites, they get taken out. That's what's really going on, you know? And if you want to know who's a part of it, check this out. Where's she at? I can't stand her. God, I can't stand her. I ain't got it pulled up. But you know who I was going to say. You know exactly who I was going to say. Hillary Clinton, all of them people, that whole circle. I got another documentary that I'm going to do. I'm not going to put it on right now because I don't want to get banned off of YouTube and Facebook and all these other places, but I'm going to air it tonight. Tonight, I'm going to get back on here and I'm going to show you guys this documentary of Hillary Clinton and her foundation and the work that they did in Haiti. Yeah. And when we talk about missing children, you talk about missing people. How do we know that people aren't ending up from over here in America when people are going missing? How do we know they're not ending up in that slave trade? You know? How do we know that? There might be more slave trades going on around the world that we don't know about. This one, they just got brought to the forefront. But it is happening. And when you look at people like Hillary Clinton and her foundation and all the people that mess around with Hillary Clinton, man, it is not hard to see what side of the aisle they really fall on. And I'm not talking about politically. I'm talking about this is like a spiritual thing at this point. They do evil things for their wealth. They commit atrocities for their wealth. In Haiti, her foundation was insane. Some of you probably already know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, then you're not going to want to miss tonight's show, America's Conspiracy Compass, because we're doing it. I'm showing this. You know, it's a sad thing, man. They paint people out to be the villains, and it makes me question everything in history. You know what I'm saying? And I look back at Germany. You know, when Germany, after World War I, they made Germany pay for everything, all the destruction and rebuilding and all of that for all these other places. They made Germany pay for it. It literally bankrupted Germany. Germany was down, and how they survived is a fantastic story, to be honest with you. If you really do the history on it, Germany went crazy with their industrial revolution, man. They started creating things. They created their own kind of currency system that wasn't based on money. They literally were given coupons, you know, to go to the store, and it was for a day's work or however they paid them out, and the people started thriving. So by the time they had come around to going into World War II, Germany had transformed from one of the poorest nations in the world to one of the richest in all of Europe because of their hard work. Hard times and struggle create some beautiful things, man. I mean, later on, what happened with Hitler, you know, that's another story. But the people came together and they saw the plight that they all had, and they worked hard and they rebuilt their country, and it became one of the most prosperous. And I'm praying the same thing to happen for Libya right now, because Libya is a place that is fallen from what it used to be. Muammar Gaddafi, when he was alive, if you got married, you know, you got money. If you like free education, they gave free medicine, they had free. He looked out for his people because they had the wealth to do it, and he understood that. He understood that he didn't have to be greedy to his own people, which I'm gonna play this too, just because. And this is who I'm about to show you guys right now. You probably already know him. Dr. Umar Johnson, before he went super crazy. It's a good one. Check this out. Hope I don't get flagged because it is matter of fact. Dang. Let me see. Maybe I can pull it up like this. Do it like that. Hopefully I don't get flagged for it.
Why was Muammar Gaddafi killed? Muammar Gaddafi was murdered because he, along with the other African heads of state, were about to bring into existence Africa's first central bank. They were erecting a central bank in Africa, which was going to do what? Back its money to the resources under the ground in Africa. Now, what would that have done to the global economic order? Remember, the United States dollar isn't backed on any natural resource. The British pound isn't backed on any natural resource. The Canadian dollar, the European Union, their currency isn't backed on any natural resource because Europe doesn't have a lot of natural resources. Africa does. So if they would have been successful in creating a central bank of Africa, coming up with a unitary currency and then backing that currency to the material wealth under the soil, they would have bankrupted every other economic system in this world, from America to Europe to China. That was revolution. And that's why Muammar Gaddafi had to be assassinated, because he was about to help the African heads of state eliminate modern slavery.
It gets deep, man. It gets deep, straight up. And then there's this TED Talk, you know, and you guys, doesn't it think about it, like it's so strange, like how this world really operates, man. You got people living in this world, man, they destroy certain places, right? There's certain countries that are just horrible, right? Horrible countries. Nobody will want to live there that comes from here, you know? And then I think about these countries. Venezuela has at one time was super wealthy because of their oil. And now you look at Venezuela and it is horrible. It is horrible. Why? Elite. The elite went over there and destroyed their country because they found a person that was their leader, Hugo Chavez, right? And made a deal with him. He basically sold out his people. This happens so much, and people never come together and say, no, you failed us as a leader. You don't make the decision for all of us. You don't get to have people come over here to our country and destroy our country because you want to be wealthy. And the people never get on one accord. The people never do what they should do and come together and unite and say, you know what, we're going to keep our country good. We're going to make sure that our streets are safe. We're going to make sure that our people aren't hungry. We're going to make sure that everybody got a place to sleep. No one does it in all these different countries. It just doesn't happen, and it needs to. It needs to. We're headed for the same kind of disaster right here in our own country. They're bringing in people from other places in the world to help destabilize our country. That's what's going on, but we ain't seeing it. You know, shout out to Jeff McKellop. He taught me a lot about how this stuff works when I was locked up with him in DC DOC. He taught me a whole lot, and he told me how his job was, how he had to go into other nations and help destabilize it because he worked, you know, with the military and he was a mercenary. and all kinds of stuff. And it's just the way that the world works. But we're watching it happen in real time right here in our country right now. But it would be so much easier if people just came together to do what's right instead of listening to our corrupt leaders. Our corrupt leaders will have you thinking that everybody in the world is our enemy because they don't want to line their pockets. And Nelson Mandela, he said it best, man. He said it best. Listen to this. Shout out Nelson Mandela for this one, man. I got to give him his props on this one. This was good.
Those of us who share your struggle for human rights and against apartheid have been somewhat disappointed by the models of human rights that you have held up since being released in jail. You've met over the last 6 months 3 times with Yasser Arafat. Are these your models of leaders of human rights? And if so, would you want a Gaddafi or an Arafat or a Castro to be a future president of South Africa?
One of the mistakes which some political analysts make is to think that their enemies should be our enemies. Our attitude towards any country is determined by the attitude of that country to our struggle. Yasser Arafat, Colonel Gaddafi, Fidel Castro support our struggle to the hilt. They do not support it only in rhetoric. They are placing resources at our disposal for us to win the struggle.
Did y'all hear what he just said? And the 3 people that he named were taught are just these horrible people. The 3 people that he named are supposed to be horrible, right? And this man is praised a lot, Mandela. But when you hear what he said, it just makes more sense. We support those who support us in our struggle. And what happens is people make the political analysts and even our own politicians have us believing that some people are our enemies that are not our enemies because they're their enemies. Right now in this country, I don't know if you can see it or not, but the enemy of the people in this country is the ones that we've elected to govern us. That's what's really going on. That's what's happening. The people that are supposed to represent us don't represent us. They represent their wallet. How do we fix it? So we don't end up with an open slave market in this country. The people need to come together and just stand on what's right. Stop supporting the things that they support just because they're a part of your political party. I don't support the wars that's going on over there with Ukraine and Russia. I don't support it. I don't support the war that's going on right now in Israel and Palestine. I don't support it because it's just innocent people like you and me that are being killed in the street. It's children, it's women that are dying in these wars. When do we make a stand and say, no, wrong is wrong? You got people coming across our border, living in our country, giving them $10,000 food stamps, $5,000 cash, up to 2 years free housing, rent free. while we got vets sleeping on the street, while we got homeless people starving, cold in the winter, hot in the summer. You got people that lost their businesses that ain't never really recovered from the pandemic. But we could send foreign aid to every other country for gender studies. We have our own problems going on right here in this country. We're about to lose, man. If the people don't wake up, if you all don't wake up, if you don't wake up, like Trump said, we ain't going to have a country no more. I don't care if you're a Democrat or you're a Republican. We got to stand for what's best for our country. We got to stand for what's best for our people. And then beyond that, even beyond that, we have to take a stand on what's right and wrong for the world. They sending money all these different places to help fund chaos, to help fund death, to help fund murder. And we're just okay with it. If we don't speak up, kind of makes us complicit. Because it's your money, it's my money, right? That goes to it. Tax dollars. When you got right here in our own country, crooked mayors that are taking money and spending it, buying cars and clothes and getting manicures and getting haircuts and all on your dime, but ain't doing nothing for your community. You got governors doing the same thing, senators doing the same thing, congressmen doing the same thing. They're supposed to represent you. They're supposed to represent me. You only get noticed, right? You only get noticed when you're doing the wrong thing. If you're saying the wrong thing, like I go on, I watch social media, I watch these influencers, and I can tell you right now, if I was to come on here and do a video and just slam Democrats and say everything that's divisive and promote one party and just hit all the same talking points, oh man, it will go crazy. The numbers will go crazy. The numbers would fly up, right? And it's the same thing on the left when you got the people on that's Democrats that come on and they slamming the right and they slamming Trump and they all the same talking points. And we both telling lies. We both saying the same things that we've heard. We can't prove none of it. It goes crazy. People eat it up because they've indoctrinated us to be addicted to negativity, to controversy, to division. The only way to fix it, man, we got to recalibrate our minds and understand what's important. What was the purpose of this country in the first place, man? It was for men to be free, for people to be free from persecution, from people to be free from the outrageous taxes that was put on them. This country has shifted from the dream that was had with this nation coming into existence to something else. We're headed towards something else. When you got them talking about doing away with the Constitution and taking your right to bear arms and silencing you, no freedom of speech, this country's going crazy. And if this country goes, that's it. This is the last beacon of freedom in the world, really. Yeah, there's some other places that got some freedoms, but there's no place on earth like America. And if we don't take a stand together, I mean, we just gonna hang separately, I guess, because we're gonna lose it. People got to get on one page, man, one accord. That's it. That's all I got for you. Just want to come and get that little quick message, man. Pray for Libya, y'all, and really, man, we got to come together. We got to come together. That's my message. Unity. Forget red and blue. Forget red and blue. The people need to come together no matter what. No matter who wins this election. I pray it's Trump. If you want Kamala, hey, good for you. I want Trump because I want what's best for this country. I challenge you all to do your digging, man. Do your digging for this election, because there's only one candidate that's really talking about making America a better place for Americans. There's only one candidate talking about ending wars instead of funding them. There's only one person that's running for office right now that's talking about doing everything good for you. Only one. Get it together. That's my message.